Hello, and welcome back to Leads with Luce on Franciscan Beat. I'm your host, Lucy, and this is the show where we talk about the Bible and what it means to a student here at Franciscan University. Today's gospel is Luke chapter 12, verses 1 through 7. Let's get into it. And when great multitudes stood about him so that they trod one another, he began to say to his disciples, "Beware ye of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, nor hidden that shall not be known. For whatsoever things you have spoken in darkness shall be published in the light, and that which you have spoken in the ear in the chambers shall be preached on the housetops. And I say to you, my friends, be not afraid of them who kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do. But I will show you whom you shall fear. Fear ye him who after he hath killed hath power to cast into hell. Yea, I say to you, fear him. Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 farthings, and not one of them is forgotten before God? Yea, the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not, therefore, you are of more value than many sparrows." Today's gospel is a little bit hard to digest. It's not always easy or comfortable to hear that your secrets are going to be yelled from the rooftops and that you should fear God because he can send you to hell. That's what this gospel sounds like to me. But upon further inspection, I realized something. The gospel actually doesn't say that we should fear God himself. We should, but not necessarily in the sense of being scared of him. The gospel actually just says, fear the one who has the authority to throw you into hell. And that's you. You are the one with free will making the choices that bring you closer to God or make you a stranger to him. A priest once told me a story that completely changed the way I think about sin. A man came up to a priest and said to him, "Father, I saw Jesus." The priest brushed him off, but the man came to him a second time and said, "Father, I really saw Jesus." In an effort to get him to stop approaching him, the priest said, "All right, next time you see Jesus, get him to tell you what sin I've committed." The man agreed and soon came back to the priest. "Father, I saw Jesus, and I asked him what sin you committed." The priest asked the man, "Well, what sin have I committed then?" The man shook his head and said, "When I asked him, Jesus said to me, 'I can't tell you. I've already forgotten.'" With this in mind, I want to encourage you all to go to confession often. There's no point hiding your sins from God. He knows all your secrets even before you've committed the sin, but he's willing to forget them once you ask for forgiveness. It's not God you should worry about sending you to hell. He's waiting in that confessional and in that tabernacle, hoping that you will come home to him. But you should take yourself seriously. Take your temptations and your inclinations seriously. Sin is hard, especially repeating sins that we get into the habit of. It's hard to break free sometimes. But I urge you to be just as persistent in asking for forgiveness as that sin is in tempting you. Match the sin's persistence with your own ardor in repenting and see what happens. Confession, as humiliating as it often is at very least a way to become very close with God. While it may seem counterproductive to have a relationship with God that is based on us apologizing all the time, I'd rather get to the pearly gates and have God say, "Oh, I'd know that face anywhere. You've been coming to me with apology after apology for years," than have him turn me away and say, "I don't know you." This is the God of creation we're talking about here. This God created every grain of sand, every bird, every blade of grass, and you. He created you above all else in this universe. And if God created the sun, the moon, and the stars with so much love in his heart, how much more do you think he loves us? He said himself that even sparrows that are sold for 2 pennies are not forgotten by God. Not a single one. Even I have sometimes felt like God has forgotten me. I question why he allows things to happen, why he allows the young to die or the old to be abused or children starved. It's hard to see him in the midst of everything sometimes. But he was always there. It was I who forgot him. He knows every sparrow intimately, and he knows us, our secrets, and our hearts. So this week's lead has 2 parts. Firstly, go talk to Jesus. Get to know him, even if it's just coming to him every week to tell him you messed up. Secondly, don't forget him. If God forgot about you for even a fraction of a second, you would blink out of existence. So remember him from time to time. He loves you. And now Dan the weatherman with your weather.
Thank you, Lucy. Well, it is starting to get chilly, but it's just about as sunny outside as my shirt. So today it will be sunny with a high of 67 and a low of 38. And that is how tonight will look. Back to the lead with Luce.
Thank you, Dan. This has been Leads with Luce with Lucy. Thank you for tuning in. Go out and proclaim the good news.